Hi, my name is Ken Gidge. We're at Access Nashua, and this is Art Show, Art Sales. Art Show, Art Sales is a program that we will be doing here. We will be interviewing artists. You'll see their work. We'll tell you where you can look to find more of their work, maybe websites, etc. And then as time goes on and we have many artists coming on our show, we're going to have in-studio art shows. That means we're going to close the studio down, this big place, and we're going to have no more than 2 artists. You're going to be invited. You can come in for Art Show, Art Sales in studio. We will interview people, ask them what they think about the work when they're here, and then that will be played. So our whole idea at Access Nashua is to make sure that the community knows there are many artists and a lot of creativity. Now, I don't usually have an artist this good. I mean, they just don't want to hang around with me. But we have Ken Fiery, and this guy is the real thing. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Ken.
The real thing. So we're going to just take a look at this painting, and I will be getting up and putting a few paintings up, but we're going to look at this painting. Now, first of all, how did you get involved in painting? What creative thing got you rolling?
Well, all my life I've been interested in drawing, in painting, and people sometimes ask me, well, when did you start painting? And I say to them, does finger painting count?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Because I can remember when I was finger painting as 3, 4 years old, and just enjoying that thoroughly. And throughout my life, I've just enjoyed drawing in school, and I was always recognized as someone who was good at that. And my wife reminded me the other day that in fact, some of my scientific projects in junior high and high school were complimented by my drawings, which always was a significant draw.
Well, you're a doctor by profession.
Oh, yes,
correct?
Yes, retired now, but yes, I have a doctorate in psychology.
Yeah, it's amazing how you love painting, but you know probably how difficult it is to make money as a painter, so you decided to become a doctor.
Well, I have continued to be a painter throughout my life, sporadically early on. And then probably about 20 years ago, I knew that I really wanted to do this a lot more. And I was beginning to think then about what I would do after I retired. And I decided that I really wanted to be a painter professionally. And so I began to pick up some courses and classes that would enhance my skills. And then about 5 years ago, when I retired from my previous profession, my avocation, painting, became my vocation. So I've enjoyed this thoroughly, and it's just something that I'm always learning from and developing more and thoroughly enjoying it.
Well, I'm also a state representative here in New Hampshire. I'm from Nashua, Ward 6, that's my ward, and I'm in Commerce, which is banking and insurance. But we also vote on monies for arts, and New Hampshire is very cheap when it comes to art. So what good is art?
Well, that's a big question. I can't imagine.
Well, you're smart enough.
I can't imagine what life would be without it. Whether the art is in writing or music or painting or other forms, art is a way of expressing that deepest human sentiment of who we are. And when I paint, I really look for that which is beautiful and good and holy. I really want to focus on those things that really enhance my experience. And when I'm looking for, well, I was going to say when I'm looking for a site to paint, But I have to say, I think it's the other way around, because somehow those places and situations capture me. And I will then decide, well, I want to come back and paint that particular scene, if it's a landscape painting, or something will captivate me, like a scene like this of a horse. And since I love horses, it's something that draws me time and time again to want to paint a particular scene. And
I think horses are probably, in my opinion, I'm an abstract artist. I can't do this. No matter how hard I try, I could not do this. You mentioned something like the word holy. I'm not sure if you didn't mean that religiously, but the feeling within oneself that you bring out.
Well, I think the word holy conveys the sense that that I'm a part of all that is. And in wanting to express that, to identify with nature, to identify with people, to identify with situations where I feel a sense of oneness with that experience, I want to convey that in my painting.
Do you think everybody can do that if they start painting or start doing artwork?
Oh yes, I think that's in all of us.
So one could say then that that's one darn good reason to get people into the arts. It brings you more to yourself.
Well, I think I would say the art experience allows me to find myself, helps me to find myself, helps me to explore that experience and to find that which is beautiful, that which is good. That I think is what I find within myself, so that the painting experience is a part of expressing myself, but it's a part of finding that expression within myself. So it's not something that I first identify within myself and then express it. It's something that I want to explore and experience the mystery of the beautiful mystery of that experience.
I always try to ask people, what does art mean? And it's an impossible. But I think your explanation with many others that I get is, I think, very important. Art is very hard to finance, especially here in the state of New Hampshire. Shame on us to a degree, because it's the way you have explained what it does for you. It does for everyone.
It does for everyone. Yes.
And if one is not an artist, and we've talked about this before, it's very important to purchase art, display art. Family members, oneself who buys it. It helps us artists to earn a living doing it, and it also brings a lot of, many times, peace to a lot of people. And there's so many ways to explain what art does, but there's no one way where you can put, well, we're putting money on this, and this is, you're going to get a road.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we take a look at this, and you have, as you said, you have a love of horses, and there you are. What type of horse is that, by the way?
That is a Percheron. In fact, the title of this painting is Toffel's Percheron.
What Percheron?
Toffel is the name of this figure here.
Oh, that's the individual?
Yes, and that's Toffel is I think a French-Canadian name, and somehow that appealed to me, and I gave that character that name. So this is Toffel's Percheron.
Where was this done? Do you go there? Do you take pictures of? Do you bring them back to your studio? How do you work?
Well, in a case like this, I have imprinted in my brain images of horses, because I've loved horses.
Yeah.
And spent a lot of time with horses and have my own horses, and but I took pictures of a horse in harness, and I use photographs to enhance the painting, to draw upon in order to complete the painting.
From the mountains and the sky and the snow, that you get that from, obviously, an artist, once they see it, can many times, without thinking, just do it. But the composition in it, I guess what I'm trying to say, do you use a lot of photographs?
I take photographs. Typically, I will, in a landscape painting, will start the painting on site. And I'll spend a couple of hours on site starting the painting while I have the light and the shadows. And
Do you sketch? You sketch out first, I take it?
I will sketch. Typically, I'll sketch with my paintbrush on the canvas itself.
Oh.
And get as much information on the canvas on site. And then I will take photographs as well and use the photographs back in my studio where I will complete the painting. And sometimes I'll go back to the same site a couple of times in order to get the information that I need in order to complete that painting.
And everybody thinks painting is take a brush and paint. There's a lot of work. We talked about composition. Composition takes a long time to figure it out.
It does. But you learn every time you do a painting. Of course, you learn more and more and more. And the paintings that give you the best lesson are the ones that fail completely, because then you recognize what you need to do to improve. So every painting has its significant value. And the ones that come out really nicely, like this one here, I love this one.
Oh, it is
and
very nice, yeah.
It did come together. So every time I look at that painting, it stirs something in me. I love looking at that. I love painting it.
All right, tell myself and the people watching, what in this painting just turns something that gets your energy going?
Well, I think initially the friendship between the man and his horse.
Right in through here.
Right in, yes. They're communicating with each other, talking with each other, and it looks to me like Toffel is stroking his best buddy, his horse,
yeah,
and telling him what a good job he's done. And so there's a special friendship that is communicated there, and it's demonstrated in that scene. And the landscape in the background accents the beauty of that setting, of that experience.
You know, as I said, I also paint. I am an abstract painter, and the interesting thing when I saw it, what really got me was the horse, and of course your person, but explaining that they are communicating. Isn't that a fact?
Yes, yeah.
And so in a sense, hopefully people who look at this, and now the people out there who are watching, can see that there is a communication. Never occurred to me. That just never occurred to me.
Well, this painting has already been successful with you then.
That's it. Absolutely, it is. It's inspired me. You work with oils, just oils?
I do presently, yes. That's what I really am concentrating on, and I have worked with pastels in years gone by. I've worked with acrylics, but oil painting is the thing that I really enjoy most.
Why?
I don't know that I know why. There's something about it.
The thickness, the smell, the whole thing. I know I've been in many studios.
Yeah, yeah. I think all of those things, but I don't think I can say definitively exactly what it is that attracted me, except that I just really enjoy working with that media.
Well, I work with acrylics, and I at this particular point, I could not work with oils like that. I think, and it's interesting what you were saying a little earlier about you learn every time you do more, and a lot of great artists, from Leonardo da Vinci, said the same thing. Yeah. Every time they do it, they learn more. How much more does a Da Vinci need to learn? I mean, so it's constant. Art, I guess, would be a constant, and something that if somebody picked up and started doing, and as you said, any art, from singing to writing.
Oh yes, I think that is absolutely true. Whatever the art form is, it's an ongoing, growing, exhilarating experience. So there's no end to the joy of that.
Well, that's probably the reason why we should fund more of it, because I think more of that should get out, and people who come in contact with you and know your work obviously feel that there is a artistic or a calmness. Where do you work? Do you have a studio at home?
I do have a studio at home, yes.
Specially built for you?
Yeah, yes.
When do you work mostly?
Mostly in the mornings. I usually am in my studio about 9:30 and continue in what I call a painting session, which lasts about 2.5 to 3.5 hours every morning. And unless I'm in that plein air setting out on a scene someplace, where I will choose the time of day that I want to be there, I will have explored that setting earlier and determined which part of the day I like it best, and which will be determined by the position of the sun, and I especially like to paint when I have nice full sun, although there are some times when I'll paint even in the rain, which I've done.
In the rain?
In the rain, right, with my umbrella up.
No, there's a crazy artist for you, in the rain painting.
So that has its own particular character, but there are no limits to the choice. But my preference is to be in that nice, rich sun.
Well, I'm going to just show a few of yours. These will be put up later, so the people can see them, watch them. But here is another one right there. This is a beautiful painting. Again, this has a horse in it and a carriage and several people. It looks like a nice sunny day, and they're out relaxing, a Sunday, or they don't look like they're in a rush for anything. What is this called? Which is this one?
That's titled Driver Training. In fact, it's a painting that was done from a photograph of me and my niece driving my horse.
In a carriage?
In a carriage. And she was learning how to hold the reins. So she was the student driver.
Well, I'm not going to pick it up again, but it's interesting that you would say that, because I took a quick picture of it with my mind, and I didn't quite know what was going on, but now you have said that. It's interesting and I do painting for other people to pick it up and to see that. And that's sort of like a little mystery there is when one paints. Do you put little things in your paintings that you like the most, you might find in a lot of your paintings? Everyone has a signature besides their signature. What is your signature? You didn't know you had a signature.
Well, I think you're correct. I think there is a signature there, but I can't identify what it is. One of the things that I typically like to incorporate into a painting is to call attention to the untold part of the story. So
explain that.
So that in each painting, this is an idea that I got from a friend of mine who talked about how in poetry there is a ghost in that poem, and as I thought about that, that's the untold story, or we could refer to it as the rest of the story. But there's a suggestion of there's more in the painting, or in the poetry, in the writing. There's more there that allows for exploration, that helps to call attention to the beautiful mystery of what's unfolding.
Unfolding. and constantly unfolding. A person, I would imagine, especially poetry and especially in painting.
Yes.
There's a story before, not just how you got to that particular spot, but the thinking of it and the horse, and then the painting. And when I see something like this, untold story. All right, there's the painting up here of your horse and your individual. What happens next? What do they do next?
Yeah.
The untold story.
That's the untold story.
Well, tell us.
So the story here, well, you can tell by the shadows that it's the end of the day. It's wintertime, so it probably is like 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon. They've been working. You can see from the shiny parts on the horse that there's some lather there. So the horse has been working hard, and there's a suggestion of something in the background that he's been pulling.
Looks like wood.
Looks like wood, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like wood.
So he's thanking his friend for doing a good job, and now the rest of the story may be unhitching him and taking him back to the barn for that good feed that's waiting for him.
Throw a blanket over him, I take it.
Once he's dried out, yeah. Would have a blanket over him, and I think here the friendship that's demonstrated is something that carries your thoughts to the larger part of their life. Of the question of how long have they been good friends, and part of the story is how would it be if I were in those shoes? What a nice thing that would be to have that kind of friendship.
You mentioned friendship and communication. You really get into your work, I take it.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
Don't bother me. Are you one of those artists like, I'm in here, close the door, don't bother me? Do you have a lot of concentration when you paint?
There is a lot of concentration, and things can distract me in that I don't like to lose that flow when I'm in that zone. I like to be in that zone because it's so gratifying to feel that creativity moving and flowing, and to feel the freedom of that. And when the phone rings and you feel obligated to pick it up, or something, there's a knock at the door or something else going on that takes your attention away.
The zone. I don't think people understand the zone, because once you're in, I know what you're talking about. Once you're in the zone, and it's stronger sometimes and weaker some other times, but when you're in it, you don't want to be bothered.
You don't want to get out of it. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
It's very, very gratifying.
This is beautiful work. Now, I have a few other pieces. I'm not going to put them up. We do have, when they, put the show together, we have a flash drive, so we're going to be showing a lot of your art. Now, I met you at St. Joe's Hospital right here in the city of Nashua. They have a new art show.
Yes.
That's taking place.
Yes, that's the Art Reach program that has been established at St. Joe's Hospital, and that the new exhibit has just been hung and is on display and will be there for 3 months at least, perhaps a little more, before that comes down and a new show goes up. But these are paintings that have been selected in order to be inspiring, uplifting, to especially be of service to patients in the hospital as well as staff, but to be of a nature that conveys a sense of peace and beauty and enlightenment. So, and I think the show does that. I was very pleased about not only my own paintings that are there, but the other paintings that have been selected conveys that sense.
Very beautiful, and I must tell the people out there that if you go to St. Joe's Hospital, they certainly will direct you where they are. They're on the walls, and one of the corridors. And what struck me, I think, in my opinion, the best paintings there was the horse in the snow. That's really so beautiful, how that is all set up. And my wife said, "Oh, what does he do? Just take the paint and go like that to get the snowflakes?" And I said, "No, he does them one at a time." So that's very, very beautiful. Where galleries? Where some of the galleries that you're at?
Well, I have paintings at Art 3 Gallery in Manchester.
Okay.
I have, there's a painting on display at the Sharon Arts Center in Peterborough, New Hampshire. I'm a member there, and so there's a members exhibit at the present time. And I have a painting that is at the Essex Art Gallery in Essex, Connecticut. So those three at the present time.
It's hard to sell art. It's difficult for artists at this particular time. In Europe, it's just different. Here in the United States, it's like we just don't kind of get it. Well, we're coming to the end, actually. This has been a quick time. How can people get to you?
Well, I have my website gallery, which is www.kenfiery.com, and people can access that easily to see some of the rest of my work. And if they want to be in touch with me, they can contact me at my my email address, which is kafiery.com at AOL. Excuse me, kafiery@aol.com, and I have a telephone number.
Go ahead. Oh, please
okay.
give your telephone number.
My telephone number here in Nashua is 889-3267.
Good. Well, as you can see, we here at Access Nashua and Art Show Art Sales will be bringing artists in, and Ken Fiery is definitely one of a good artist, great artist. As you can see, interviewing and talking to him, you can see how he feels about art. I'm sure that we know art is very important to everything that takes place, but this state will not fund it, and that's okay. But here at Access Nashua, we will be putting on Art Show, Art Sales, interviewing artists as Ken, and then as time goes on, we will close the studio down and make an art gallery out of it, and we will be showing many artists over the period of time. So you keep watching, and Ken, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. My
Okay.
pleasure.
All right. Thanks.